Hello everybody and welcome back to Laugh Napkin, where we read stories from your favorite subreddits. And today's reading comes from the subreddit r/Idontworkherelady. Let's get right into it. This first story comes from the user Original Nightmare and is titled, I swear they get younger every year. So this happened over a decade ago, but I was reminded by a Facebook memory and thought it could fit here. So when I was about 10 or 11, I went to a middle school that required a school uniform. I was wearing a navy polo shirt and a khaki skirt, a skirt with built-in shorts under it. I was scrawny as hell. Beanhole would be an accurate description. Well, after school one day, my brother and I go to a major chain electronics company to get a new mouse for the family desktop computer. The company uniform was a royal blue shirt with a yellow tag logo and khakis. Sounds like Best Buy. So I looked like a miniature employee. Well, my brother spends about 45 minutes searching the video game aisle for games he couldn't afford, while I wander the store. I'm in the laptop case section by the back wall when I see a little old lady trying to grab a bag from the top shelf, but can't straighten enough to reach it. She sees me approach and lightens up. Excuse me, miss. Would you mind helping me get the purple bag? I'm 11, was taught to help my elders, and had nothing better to do. I could barely get it as I was still short as hell, but I got it off the hook. Here you go, ma'am. Thank you so much. My granddaughter just got a full scholarship to blank school, and purple is a school color. Wow, a full scholarship? She must be super smart. She is. She's such a good girl. Little old lady then wanders off towards the front counter, but I hear her mumble, I swear they get younger every year. Stop. This is a happy ending. I wish this was where the story ended, but alas, it did not stop there. About 5 more minutes pass before I hear a toddler shrieking, Baño! Baño! Mommy! The kid was probably about 3, and his mom was looking around frantically while talking to the boy in Spanish. Well, as a regular to the store, I knew there wasn't a public bathroom. I knew very little Spanish at the time, so I did my best. I don't know Spanish either, guys, so I'm so sorry if I hacked this up. Pardon míos. Tengo no un baño aquí en la tienda. Es un baño en la tienda a la derecha, para la puerta. I pointed to the store next to us that had a bathroom. I know my conjugations and everything were awful at the time, and I had never had an actual conversation with a native speaker. I'm still not fluent and don't claim to be. She understood what I was trying to say and thanked me. She said something I didn't understand before picking up her kid and rushing off. Well, she left her purse behind. I felt awkward walking away and leaving it there unattended, so I lingered while waiting for her to come back. Well, another 5 minutes passed and she still isn't back. I'm really bored at this point, so I start straightening products on the shelf, when up comes a couple. 2 atypical Karens. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Karen walk up to me. The man has a cart loaded down with a TV and a bunch of other stuff. The woman walks up to me and looks down at me with a disgusted look. They're backed up at the register. I'm sorry? You should be. You need to check us out right now. I don't work here. Yes, you do. No, I don't. I've seen you help 2 other customers already, and you're cleaning shit right now. Sir, I really don't work here. I'm just hanging out after school and... You little white trash lying ass. You don't want to help us because we're black. That's it, isn't it? You're a little racist bee. Me being an 11-year-old female, I was starting to tear up at this point. No, I'm not. I was just bored while waiting for... Get your lazy effing A up to those counters where it belongs and check us out then, before we get you fired, you racist C-word. At this point, I'm starting to back away because I'm scared. But, Mrs. Karen looms over me. Don't you dare walk away from me. She then shoved me and I fell into a new video game console display, knocking over about 15 boxes. It made a very loud and expensive sounding crash. Cue dismayed employee and older brother showing up finally. Jane? Are you okay? Not my real name, just a generic one that is similar. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. This effing racist employee just knocked the display over on purpose so she could blame it on us. Yeah, and at first she said that she didn't work for N-words like us, and that we should go back to Africa where we belong. People like her shouldn't work here. She should be in prison. I'm already an emotional train wreck of an individual who is in counseling for crippling self-doubt and anxiety. I burst into tears. Mrs. Karen, pathetic. Dismayed employee pauses and looked me over. Wait, Who are you? She's one of the employees here. I saw her helping other customers. No, she's not. She's my little sister. Don't cover up for a racist brat. She's 11. She's supposed to be a brat, but she's too nice. Honestly, it's annoying how nice she is. Grumpy manager finally comes out of his office and ushers us into 2 different rooms. Police are called because they wanted to press charges against me. Well, the police show up and are taking statements. Now they're also accusing me of assault and theft. My mom came from the grocery store next door to pick us up and go home and is directed to the manager's office. Police come in to take my statement. I tell them my side of the story. They ask if I have any ID. I pull my 5th grade student ID for a local elementary school. One of the officers looks at it and asks what teacher I have. Miss M, sir. Really? My daughter's in that class. So I read his last name off his uniform and recognize it as my good friend from school. Are you Mary's dad? That'd be me. Are you the Jane she's been trying to have a sleepover with? I nodded. Well, we have your statements and have watched the footage. Mom, footage? Yeah, the whole thing was on tape, including Jane helping some other customers, them yelling at you, the woman pushing you into that display, and then blaming it on you. Really? Thank goodness. Would you like to press charges? After that, the 2 were taken away in handcuffs. We pressed charges. While they were being taken away, the man screamed threats at me and kicked the officer. While he was being placed in the car, the Hispanic woman who I helped walked up beside my family and said, "That guy is crazy." I turned to her and stared in awe and a bit of confusion. Yes, I speak English. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to assume. I just heard you talking in Spanish earlier, so... Oh, don't worry about it. It was sweet that you were trying so hard to be helpful. Keep practicing. After that, my mom always took us home to change out of our school uniforms before we went to the store. Hey, this story is just full of all sorts of goodness. At first, you thought it was going to be a wholesome story. Then you thought it was going to be a wholesome story again. But then Karen arrives and ruins everything. Karen always ruins everything. But hey, it ended up turning out pretty good. Let's move on to the next story. This next story comes from the user Joseph C007 and it's titled, "She thought I was a Domino's employee, then thought I was fooling around." Back when I worked at Food Lion, long ago, I went to visit a friend at Domino's and give him a ride home. This day I was technically off, but wore khakis and a blue shirt since I worked at Food Lion and was called in. It was a Saturday night, so you know it was crazy busy, and this was before the advent of constant online ordering, so you were stuck to the phone. He had to stay a little late and I had to use the bathroom, so the manager let me in the back to use it. While I was walking to the front, a lady that was waiting in the front got up and said to me, "Where's my damn pizza at?" I said, "Whoa, lady, that was uncalled for, but they'll check on it for you." She got even madder and said, "I've been waiting here for over 30 minutes and you guys still didn't make my effing pizza?" I flat out told her, "Look, lady, I know you're upset, but I don't work here. Either way, I'm not gonna let you yell at me about a pizza." She continued to fuss about why I was near the back then, and something was wrong with the business and she's going to report them. The manager just said that they'll give her her money back at this point because now she's yelling. I ended up walking past her and they threatened to call the cops on her, so she left right behind me. She was still fussing at this point, going to her car. Alright, this last and final story is a wholesome one, guys. You know I like to switch it up every now and then, so let's get right into it. This story comes from the user Anakit Kenobi and is titled, "Wholesome Lady Helped Me When She Didn't Have to." Not crazy nor funny, but greatly appreciate this kind lady to this day. This was during my first year at college when I was starting to figure out how to take care of myself when I was sick. I was trying to get a tea strainer for some loose leaf tea that I got so I could drink tea and feel better since my throat hurt so much. I would have definitely stayed home if I lived with someone, but I was in a dorm at the time and no one I knew had a car on the campus except for me. So my sick, very sniffly, slightly delusional self drove to Target to get myself a tea strainer. I don't shop at Target often, so I'm not the most familiar with the store, and for some reason the tea strainers were like an end cap for the cart aisle. Anyway, I was looking everywhere, could not find it. Also was somewhat out of it. Then I see a lady wearing a red shirt. The magical Target red shirt. Salvation has blessed me. "Hi, would you happen to know where the tea strainers are?" "Oh, sweetie, I don't work here." "Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you." Not too sure why I still said thank you, but I did. like, thank you for dealing with my stupidity, and I thought that was the end of the interaction. A little later, I'm still searching for those gosh darn tea strainers, and this lady comes back with an employee that can definitely help me. She says, here's somebody that can help you. Hope you feel better. I was very obviously sick and out of it, so she knew what was up, and I'm quite certain everyone in that town was used to absolutely clueless college kids. I still have that tea strainer. Hope this little bit of a happy I don't work here lady story makes someone smile. Alright, after that first story, we had to end this video on a positive note. Not all I don't work here lady stories feature batshit crazy Karens. So let me know what you guys think about these stories in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.